Hi there, thank you for joining me today. Perhaps you are a family that is beyond the South African borders, and I'm here to talk to you specifically today about this matter of you receiving your Oikos order in your home, wherever your home happens to be that is outside of South Africa. South Africans, local South Africans, can receive their orders because it's all within the framework of the South African government and courier and our administration and all of that. But when it gets beyond the borders, it gets a little bit more complicated. And we do not want complexity. We're trying to bring simplicity into your life and help you with simplicity. But you might have difficulties with getting your order from Oikos because you are international. And one of the difficulties you might experience is with customs and import and all the technicalities around that. Now, we are having meetings constantly with people. I have to say, we have meetings with the courier, our international courier company that helps us to get this parcel to you, get your order to you. And we meet with government people regarding customs and agencies. And we've tried numerous ways to make this as streamlined as possible as we can for you. But here is where we run into some difficulties. And that is that each country has its own laws, obviously, and it has its own customs laws and import laws. And even our courier companies give us different instruction. Even if we're exporting to you, they tell us this is what we have to do. You must do it this way. And then we get it all in place. And then 3 months down the road, they tell us, don't do it like that anymore. We must do it like this now. And when I say like this or like that, I mean they tell us that we must put the invoice behind the courier label on the pocket in the front of the parcel. And then they tell us we mustn't do that. We must put it inside the parcel. We mustn't put invoices behind the pockets. But if it's this country, it must be behind the pockets. But for that country, it mustn't be in the pocket behind the label. So there's all these different instructions happening. So sometimes if we've got somebody new who's packing and that instruction hasn't been yet put on the wall, well, then maybe it's going to go in the pocket and it should have gone in the box. We don't know. It happens. So what we're trying to do is streamline it so you don't have difficulty when it comes to your side of receiving it. However, we don't know what's happening in your country regarding the laws. I know in our country, in South Africa, the custom laws have changed and changed and changed. And so we can't keep up. It's like shifting sand. So we are really seeking ways to make it as straightforward as possible so that we can say that this is how it works. So when you get on the Oikos online store to place your order, we can say, this is how it works. Take these steps. But then you would have to read those steps thoroughly and carefully, make sure you take the steps that we suggest. And even after us doing our absolute best to give you really specific steps and instruction and keep it as simple as possible, it could be that the very next week or the very next day, your country changes something regarding importing. And so you go to get your parcel or it won't get delivered, can't get delivered to your door, or it gets blocked on the way. I had one parcel coming from overseas to us. It was stuck in customs, our South African customs, for 3 months. And an order I had received from the same company, we got 10 days later. That was quite impressive. But the order was split into two. One half of it came in 10 days after we had placed it. And the other one, we had to try and find it and phone customs and they couldn't find it. And oh my goodness, we went through all of that. So we know how it feels your side as well when you have difficulties. So I want you to know that we don't just ignore your difficulties, most certainly not. We look into ways for you to not have that difficulty. And we do our very best, but we can't keep up with your country's laws. That's something that you're going to have to do. So when you place your order, I think it's a good idea to just find out what is involved with you importing or you receiving orders across borders. The one thing I can tell you at the moment is that across the board, this is what we have discovered, and it might change. But educational material very often doesn't have extra customs added to it. It's in our country you can get education material come in if you're importing and you don't get extra custom charges or import charges added. Most of the time over the years we have found that if we mark your order well, you can very often receive it without many difficulties, and that's because we're constantly trying to do our best to make sure we put the right documentation to make it simple for you. Obviously, you know we're not going to break any laws intentionally. We're not going to not put an invoice in so that you don't have to pay customs. If our export customs requires us to put an invoice in, well, then we have to put an invoice in. And then I'm terribly sorry that if that happens to result in you now having to pay extra customs, I sincerely hope it's not going to happen, but we must abide by the laws of our country. I'm not sure what the laws of your country are. Another point that I can make about this topic is the fact that we tried opening hubs in various countries so that we could send orders directly to that hub and then it would be dispersed from there to your various homes. But that hasn't worked out as well across the board as we would have liked it to. So now we're finding that it's better to just go direct to you, not for you to have a hub in the middle of the whole process. And so just so you know, we are trying to find ways that is going to be the best solution, basically, for you to receive your Oikos order without you having to have difficulties. We will continue to explore this. We're not going to rest. We're not going to just leave it and go, oh, well, it's difficult for them, international people or across South African borders. We don't want it to be difficult for you. That's the whole point. So we will keep exploring it, even if it means having routine meetings with the various courier companies or customs agencies, whatever it might be. We will continue to do that. What we would like from you, please, is some help regarding if you know already that there's a very specific requirement from your country that you need something done. They require you to have an invoice or invoices in triplicate, or that it's got to give more description in it, whatever it might be. Please let us know when you place your order. There's a place there that says special instructions or special note. You can put in there, please do the following. And you can let us know what you need from us for us to help you to receive your order without difficulty, we hope. We also have other videos pertaining to this topic of international orders and ordering across borders and so on. So if you'd like to watch those, I hope that you'll find those helpful. But for now, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was of some support and help to you. Bye.